Hey y'all, college football is over for 2024. Ohio State beat Notre Dame. So now we look to 2025 and what that will entail. On3 just released their too early top 25 for next year. And a lot's going to change, but it's fun to talk about this, right? And so I've got the list here of 1 through 25 of what On3 produced, and I just want to kind of give you my thoughts on the list. I may not spend a lot of time on specific teams. I may not talk about certain teams at all. I wanted to kind of talk about some maybe the overrated and underrated teams on this list when I take a glance at this. So first and foremost, let's talk about Texas. Texas, I do think, should be probably number one. It's another team that's just loaded with NIL money. Arch Manning's coming back. It's his team now. Quinn Ewers is gone. They should be really, really good. I worry about their offensive line. They lose two really good tackles, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Ohio State, they do lose a lot of key pieces. They bring back the best player in the country in Jeremiah Smith. They should be really, really good. They lose a lot of key pieces on that defense, though. They lose Will Howard as their quarterback. So it'll be interesting to see how they do next year. They should be very good. Again, you kind of see a common trend here. These top five teams here, it's the teams that have the most NIL money. Both of those teams right there, your number one and number two team, spend over $20 million a year on these players. And that's going to be a trend until they fix something. That's what's going to continue to be. It's going to be the teams that spend the most money on their players. And so, just glancing over here, Oregon 3, Penn State number 4. Penn State's bringing back their quarterback. Penn State brings back a lot of people. Oregon does too. Notre Dame, they lose Riley Leonard at quarterback. That rounds out your top five. Georgia at number 6 brings back Connor Stockton. It'll be interesting to see how he does. Georgia's got another good team coming in. Illinois at number 7 kind of surprised me, but they do have a lot of people coming back next year. They're coming off that bowl victory over a good South Carolina team, so there's a lot of optimism there. Speaking of South Carolina, at number 8, I think they're getting a lot of hype because they're bringing back I think Dylan Stewart, the defensive end. They're bringing back Lenore Sellers at quarterback. And so, they turned a lot of heads winning 9 games last year, and they were only projected to win 5.5. So, big expectations for South Carolina. Florida at number 9. DJ Lagway's team next year. This will be Billy Napier's 4th year. And I think they got a good squad. It's going to be they got a much better schedule this year coming up than they did last year, and they got a better team. So I think Florida's going to have a good year. Clemson at number 10. Clay Klubnik coming into his senior year, and they got some skill players coming back. Good defense, so Clemson should be pretty good playing in a conference like the ACC that's pretty weak too. So that, in my opinion, they should be the front runner to win in that conference next year. Clemson should be. Now, here's a team that I don't agree with. Auburn at number 11. I don't understand that. Now, they went out and they got Jackson Arnold from Oklahoma, but Hugh Freeze has not showed me anything in Auburn why they'd be number 11. Now, they've recruited pretty well, but this was a 5-win team last year. You're bringing in a quarterback that's never really ever proven anything or done anything at all. I think Auburn's too high. Michigan, I think they're deserving of the number 12 ranking. They're bringing in the number 1 quarterback in the country. He'll no doubt start next year. If you watch Michigan in the bowl game against Alabama, they are very sound defensively. Very good football team, and a lot of players are coming back from that team. They'll be a solid football team. Tennessee at number 13. I think that's about right for the Vols. Bringing back Nico Iamaleava. Tennessee loses a ton of key defensive players, though. Lose their starting center, losing some tackles. So Tennessee has to replace a lot of key pieces. But got some receivers back. We went out in the portal and got the running back from Duke. We got some other guys, Peyton Lewis, that's coming and returning. So Tennessee will be potent. They'll be a pretty good SEC team. But they're, in my opinion, not a top 10 team. They're a top 15, and so I think they have it just about right. Alabama at 14. That's about right as well. Now, I think Ty Simpson's going to be the quarterback next year for Alabama. he fits Kalen DeBoer's system better than Jalen Milroe did. I think Alabama will have a better year next year than they did this year. Always hard when you have a new head coach, when he's having to come in and he's having to play with guys that he didn't recruit that fit his system. I think Alabama will have a better year this year, and they'll be tougher to beat. And they get a lot of these teams now like LSU and Tennessee at home, which will help too. So, and speaking of LSU, number 15, I think they're too low. I actually, with Garrett Nussmeier coming back, they had a really good portal class in the offseason. I would actually flip Auburn and LSU. I don't even know if I'd have Auburn at 15, actually. I would have LSU at least around the number 10 mark. Garrett Nussmeier, I was high on him going into the preseason this year. He had a really good year. He won them a number of games. He's going to be really good next year. He'll be even better. And I think I like LSU next year. BYU, number 16, I'll be honest with you, I don't know a lot about BYU. I watched them play Colorado in the bowl game. I think they got a lot of people coming back. I will say they're very physical. They're very disciplined. So I think they probably had that about right with them. Arizona State, and they lose their Doak Walker semifinalist running back. I can't say his name. I can't remember off the top of my head. Dude just put on a clinic in the college football playoffs against Texas. I think he rushed for like 2,000 yards or close to it as well. Scatterbo, they lose him, but their quarterback's coming back. So Arizona State got a really good head coach down there too. So I'm expecting good things out of them. I think that's about right at 17. Oklahoma, I think they're overrated. They went out and they did get a quarterback from Washington State. It will be interesting to see how he does. I do think Oklahoma will be better than they were last year just because the offensive line's going to be better. But defensively, you lose an All-American and your middle linebacker there that you lost. You lose some key pieces there. I don't think Oklahoma should be 18. I don't even know if I'd have Oklahoma in the top 25, just me personally. This could be this could be the Oklahoma's head coach's last year if he doesn't put together at least an 8 or 9 win season. So, anyway, Oklahoma I think is a little overrated. A&M, that's about right. Marcel Reed's coming back to be quarterback. They got a lot of key pieces, very, very talented. So I like them at 19. Kansas State, solid team. They got they got their quarterback coming back, a lot of key pieces. Miami at 21 went out and got Carson Beck, and they're paying him over $4 million, so he better deliver. I don't think he's as good as Cam Ward, and I don't know if he's got the skill players that Cam Ward had to throw to. So it'll be interesting to see how Miami does at 21. Number 22, SMU. Kevin Jennings is coming back as their quarterback. Very talented team, and they're in a division like the ACC where they can win at least, easily 10 games. A lot of easy games on the schedule. If Kevin Jennings can cut down on those turnovers, he's very athletic. He's a very good quarterback. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Indiana continues to do good in the portal. They continue to recruit really well, have an amazing head coach. They are losing their 24-year-old quarterback, though, so it's always hard to do, replacing a quarterback like that. But I think they got some promising kids coming in that they think will have a promising future. So Indiana, I like them at 23. Georgia Tech might be a little bit underrated. Haynes King is coming back. He's like 24, 25 years old. He's got another year of eligibility. Georgia Tech is a team on the rise. I like them at 24. Could be even higher. Nebraska at 25. They've got another rising quarterback. He'll be a sophomore next year. Team's doing much better. They're much more talented. And Nebraska's got some NIL money that's helping them out, making them more talented. So I have no problem with Nebraska being at 25. So looking back on this, I think for the most part I have no issue with this top 25 list. If I had to change anything, I would not put Auburn that high. I would put LSU lower. I think they're closer to a top 10 team. I think Oklahoma, I wouldn't put Oklahoma that high. Even Miami, I think, is too high. I don't know how Carson Beck will do in that new system, and with a whole new set of playmakers around him. I think maybe Miami's a little bit overrated. Georgia Tech, I think, is a little bit underrated. I think they might even be a top 20 team next year. SMU as well. I like those two teams. SMU will be very, very talented. And Indiana, I like Indiana where they're at, so then they're neither overrated or underrated. But anyway, that is my 1 through 25 kind of summary on where I think they've ranked those teams. It'll be an exciting season in 2025. It'll be exciting spring to see how these teams do, how they perform, how they get better. And obviously, that's just, I think, for the most part, On3 kind of nailed it with their top 25 rankings. I'll talk to you guys later.